Hey everyone, welcome to the Launchpad webinar series all about business growth. My name is Abiola, and as you might be able to tell, I love talking about business and working with businesses. And my aim for these webinar sessions is to share insights and really just start a conversation about the things that I think directly impact you and your business. This first session is one that I think is really key because I think we all know we could be doing more when it comes to marketing. The problem is that the landscape is so vast when it comes to marketing, it can be really hard to know where to invest your time and effort. My aim is that after this presentation, you'll have at least one action that you can take away to help your business grow. This session was originally hosted back in January 2025. And that was exclusive to the Launchpad community that I host. So if you want these webinar sessions available in real time as soon as they drop, then follow the link in the description and we'll be sure to get you involved and introduce you to my network of entrepreneurs and also give you access to the weekly newsletters that we present. So today we'll be talking about my top 5 consumer marketing trends for 2025. And I want to stress that it's my top 5 consumer marketing trends. And as you go through the list that I'll be sharing today, you may have a completely different view, or you may know someone who thinks otherwise. Well, be sure to comment and let me know what you think. And I'm really keen to hear what people think, and hopefully we can have a good discussion about what you found and how it might be different from my perspective. So let's get into it. Before we start, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background. So, I have been a company director, a strategy consultant for well over 10 years now, and I love working with businesses of all sizes with the focus of helping them grow. And I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've also had quite a bit of success. So, really, my goal is to try and pass on as much of that experience as I can to you and help you with your business. But today we're going to be talking, as I say, about some key marketing trends, and the agenda is as follows. So we're going to start off by just covering a 2024 retrospective. In order to know where we're going, we often need to understand where we've been. So I want to spend some time looking at some of the key trends that were really cemented in 2024. Then I'll give you my top 5 countdown list of marketing trends before highlighting some notable mentions. As part of my research, I found a number of other key trends that I think are worth discussing, but they didn't quite make it into my top 10. And finally, I'll provide a bit of a conclusion and hopefully give you a call to action or some key takeaways so that you can take part and put some of what you've learned today into action. So, first things first, we're going to do a retrospective of 2024. So, here are some of the trends that I thought really cemented in the ecosystem for consumers and really did impact consumer behavior. So, the first is the growth of data driven decision making. So, data driven decision making for a very long time has been a key focus of large corporations, large businesses. But what we've seen now is that methodology, that approach being adopted by small organizations. Small businesses can now access quite sophisticated analytics on their websites, but also on their social media channels about how customers will interact with their brands. And that's really helpful for informing growth strategies, business strategies in the future. According to McKinsey, data driven organizations are 23 times more likely to acquire customers. So we can see here that it's really advantageous, if you aren't already, to be utilizing the data at your disposal to work out how you can have a really strong impact on your growth. Next is eco conscious branding. Now, as much as many of us might complain about the soggy paper straws that we now have to put up with, I think we all understand that it's an effort to be more eco friendly and for businesses to be more sustainable. Um, Younger generations, in particular, are very passionate about making sure that they can manage and have a low enough carbon footprint. And brands are responding by ensuring that they have sustainable packaging, that they have a sustainability ethos, and that their mission statements include messaging around sustainability. I think the next one we can all probably relate to, customer weariness and swipe fatigue. There is so much information being blasted at us pretty much from when we wake up to when we go to bed. And as such, customers are becoming more and more savvy and more picky about the type of information that they digest. And as such, for businesses like ours, we need to be more effective at communicating unique and impactful messaging. Research shows that the average attention span dropped from 2.5 minutes in 2003 to just 45 seconds for Gen Zs. Um, and we know that it's even lower in some of the younger generations. It's less than 10 seconds. So we really do have to fight hard for attention in these days. And lastly, the death of the influencer. That's quite a hyperbolic statement. Influencers aren't dying, and also influencers still influence, but not as much as they used to, especially macro influencers. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. One is that everybody's an influencer now. So impact is a lot harder to achieve because it's just spread across a larger number of people. But also, customers are becoming more and more aware of some of the tactics, some of the approaches that businesses are employing to work with influencers and get your money, get your attention. So, large influencers in particular can often dilute their brands and dilute their messaging by working with a whole host of companies without very much scrutiny. What that means is consumers are a lot less likely to trust them or engage with what they're selling. So that's my 2024 retrospective. Let me know what you think. But as I say, these are some of the trends that I thought really did cement themselves in 2024. And now I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what I think is on the horizon for 2025. Now, hopefully, none of these trends will be a surprise to you. My message is more about the fact that I think these are really going to take hold and be a really strong way for you to have an impact in 2025. So, without further ado, we'll start off with number 5, LinkedIn marketing. So many people are familiar with LinkedIn, and there are a large number of people who have accounts with LinkedIn. But LinkedIn traditionally seems to be a social network where people can look for jobs and work with other brands. But LinkedIn, in recent months, maybe even years, have really started to focus on expanding its video tools, and that's designed to support branding efforts. So you may have seen recently, if you're frequently visiting LinkedIn, stories on LinkedIn or story like content, reels on LinkedIn or reel like content, which gives people an opportunity to develop a stronger relationship with people who are sharing that content, but also with companies who want to engage with potential customers. Now, when I was looking into LinkedIn marketing, with very few exceptions, there aren't many native LinkedIn influencers. What I mean by that is people who blew up and developed their audience solely on LinkedIn. There are some, but there aren't many, like with YouTube or with Instagram, where we can all name large number of people who you first found out about on those platforms. LinkedIn is still relatively nascent when it comes to that, which gives you a great opportunity to potentially have an impact there. Video storytelling is on the rise, no surprise there. As attention spans decrease, video becomes even more effective at trying to get across bits of information that can resonate with people. So if you're not using video yet to help tell your story, I really do recommend it. It's also a great place to target active, determined, high income customers. So, thanks to the advanced search functions on LinkedIn, you're able to really hone in on who your target customer might be. And that's really helpful when you're trying to develop a marketing strategy. So, that's LinkedIn marketing. We'll move on to number 4, AI powered content creation. Again, I think it's very difficult to navigate the world at the moment without hearing about AI content generation tools, whether it be Chat GPT, for instance, or Microsoft Copilot. These tools are supporting organizations, businesses with producing large amounts of content. But even platforms that aren't well known, let's say, for AI powered content have AI capabilities now. Canva is a great one. Mailchimp is another, and you won't be surprised that many other organizations, whether it be Slack or Monday.com, for instance, are using or integrating AI capability into their offering. What this allows is for AI driven personalization. Thanks to AI models that can integrate with your marketing platforms, you're able to really focus in on specific customer segments and create at scale quite specific sets of messaging for different target audiences. It can also help support automated content creation. So again, if you do use some specific marketing platforms, um, email marketing platforms, for instance, you can connect AI tools to your websites or to your email list to generate automatic content when your customers take certain action and enhance customer recommendations. I think if you spend any time on Amazon, for instance, you're probably reminded on multiple occasions about what's been left in your basket, but you're also often encouraged or recommended to consider other products or services based on your previous purchasing or browsing history. So again, thanks to some of these really innovative and actually relatively cheap AI tools, small businesses can use some of those same techniques and really target their customers with the right products and services. On to number three, community marketing. So as I mentioned, macro influencer marketing is dwindling in impact and it's being replaced by niche, smaller, targeted, focused communities, often led by micro or nano influences. And the impact of these spaces is that although they don't have as wide a reach, they have a lot of engagement because the people who engage with the content, the people who view it, have a lot of trust for the influencers because it's a small and intimate relationship. And that leads to authentic connections. When you have a small audience as opposed to a large audience, you can really spend time nurturing and growing that audience. And what that leads to is brand loyalty. And the other really impactful thing that you can leverage when it comes to community marketing is long term partnerships. Larger influencers are a lot less likely to lock themselves down to work with a specific small business, especially one that doesn't have a large footprint. But a small micro influencer um, may, if they like what you're offering, your products and services, be willing to develop a strong long-term relationship with you, and then you can use that relationship to offer suitable and relevant products and services to your audience. Dynamic email marketing is number two. Now, for me, I can't imagine a list of relevant market trends that I would produce within the next 10 years that doesn't include email marketing. It may feel like it's an old dinosaur when it comes to marketing strategies or marketing methods, but it is one of the most consistent and one of the most reliable ways to reach your audience. As more and more um, social media platforms become available and become popular, and the customer attention becomes more and more fragmented, email marketing stands out as a great way to reach a wide broad audience set. So things to be aware of. As I mentioned, email campaigns have the widest potential reach. If you focus on nurturing and building your mailing list, you can have a really strong, effective marketing campaign, which has the widest impact when it comes to your target audience. Hyper personalization. Well, if you pair a good email marketing strategy with good customer segmentation, so you really understand the different types of customers that you support, then what that allows you to do is send really well personalized emails. And that could include the name of your target customer. It could include special bits of information about them, such as where they live or rough location, their birthdays, their personal interests. And what that does is it really helps you um, sell or promote a strong, personalized value proposition. And finally, just something for people to be aware of. We're all probably now familiar with the idea of mobile capabilities like dark mode or text to speech. Most people who engage with emails or read their emails read it on their mobile phone. And dark mode is a new, relatively new concept that many mobile phones now offer. But what that does is actually changes the way that you engage with certain emails. So my recommendation there is just to, if you are creating an email campaign, make sure it works effectively for both dark mode and light mode. Similarly, text to speech. Some people who are extremely busy may be less likely to actually read their emails. They may want some sort of text to speech option where they can just listen to their emails. So, again, making sure that you optimize for those types of services is just a great way of ensuring that you reach the widest possible audience. And finally, my number one, my most important trend for us to pay attention to in 2025 is Q commerce or quick commerce. And I think we're all familiar with quick commerce. If you've ever purchased from Uber Eats or Deliveroo, or if you've ordered a same day Amazon parcel, then you've bought or you've engaged with the Q commerce industry. Customers, especially those in urban areas, expect rapid delivery now. I can't be the only one who's actually decided not to purchase something because I couldn't get it next day delivery. Um, it's only going in one direction, and that direction is rapid, faster delivery. So customers who obviously now expect things like their food or groceries same day delivered or delivered. Now there is an expectation for other things, other products and services to be delivered as fast as possible. And that's a great opportunity for you to differentiate yourself, rapid delivery, if you can create an offering. Technological advancements are improving the customer experience. So if we think about access to things like GPS capability, everybody's got a smartphone now. All of these services are really helpful in making sure that people can support and serve their audience effectively. And again, the fact that it's becoming cheaper and cheaper means that you as a small business can take advantage of these. Finally, rapid access will become the norm in all parts of life. As I said, we're seeing it in some areas already. We're seeing it when it comes to groceries. We can see it when it comes to some Amazon purchases, for instance. But unfortunately or fortunately, people are becoming more and more impatient. And what that means is their expectations are that when they order something, they want it now. And if you can deliver a service or an offering that facilitates that, you're more likely to get the purchase or get the customer. So those are my top 5 marketing trends. But as I said in my research, I found some other trends which I thought were really important to discuss, but didn't quite make my top 5. So running through those very quickly. Um, Live streaming growth. So we've talked about the importance of developing intimacy with your customers, and live streaming is a really effective way of doing that because you have a direct discussion or direct relationship with your customer. But the key there is that they can give you real time feedback. You can have a real time conversation with your customers. And brands are becoming more and more humanized, which I think is a good thing. And what the expectation there is that consumers want to know who's behind the brand, and live streaming is a great way for you to do that. Next, we have voice search optimization. Again, many consumers and an increasing number of consumers have some sort of smart speaker in their home. And when it comes to the utilization of these smart speakers, we want to ensure that our businesses are optimized to support them. So, making sure that the description of your business, making sure that the description of your products and services are aligned with natural speech, so that when somebody is looking for something or asking their smart speaker for some recommendations, your offering, your product or service can be easily highlighted and recommended. Next, we've got ethical marketing. So we talked about eco-friendly marketing, um, but in 2025, I foresee us expanding that to being ethical. We have seen in recent months and years, customers really challenging brands when it comes to their ethical practices, the types of products they sell, the types of labor they use, and even the countries that they do business with. So, being aware of your ethical values and being clear on the ethical position of your business, I think is going to be really pertinent in 2025 to ensure that you don't alienate any customers. Next one is local search. So we do absolutely live in a global market, and it's a very globalized world. However, consumers still like the idea of supporting local businesses. So ensuring that your products and services are optimized to be found as part of a local search is really important. Whether it's a voice search or whether somebody is making a Google search, um, the algorithms typically put at the top offerings that are nearby. And if you are able to take advantage of that, ensure you make sure that your location is available so that customers know where you are and can make the decision to support. Finally, customer GDPR concerns. So, when it comes to data, customers are becoming more and more aware of how their data is being used and who owns their data. Most of the time, it's them. And as a result, customers want to ensure that the brands that they work with are respectful, and also careful in the way that they use their data. So, having a clear set of policies about how you use your data, making sure that you actually have responsible practices when it comes to the management of customer data is also a good way of making sure that your customers can trust you. So, those are my honorable mentions. And I just want to conclude with a few key takeaways. So, as we discussed, LinkedIn marketing was my number 5 option, and there are a range of ways that you can leverage LinkedIn marketing to really engage with your target customers. So, my key recommendation here is if you are currently utilizing any other social media platforms and creating content, duplicate that content and make it available on LinkedIn also. But long term, create a unique, platform specific brand strategy for LinkedIn. AI powered content creation and personalization. I've got two almost polar opposite recommendations when it comes to AI content creation. First of all, familiarize yourself with the tools that are available and see how it can make your life as a business owner easier. But also consider unique, creative ways of communicating your message that don't use AI. People are going to be absolutely bombarded with AI generated content. So you might be able to stand out by doing the exact opposite, by sharing your message in a way that AI can not easily replicate. Next, community marketing. So my key takeaway for community marketing is identifying the niche communities that are most relevant to you and your business, joining them and sharing your message. It's as simple as that. If you want to go one stage further, create your own niche community. And a community of interest can be as simple as just identifying what it is your product and service does, what problems it tries to solve, and find all of the people who are also passionate about that same problem. Next one is dynamic email marketing. This is something, as I've said, which is always going to be a key part of any good marketing strategy. And my key recommendation for you is start to build and refine your email mailing list. So ensure that it is pruned regularly. Bigger is not better when it comes to email marketing, because anyone who receives your email and uh, puts it in the spam bucket is actually telling their email provider that you're not somebody who they want to see, and their email provider might take that a little bit further and decide that nobody should see your content. So it's always better to have a small but effective list than a large list where you're going to be bugging loads of people. But again, the idea here is that unlike all of the different social media platforms, which has got a broad range of target customers, email is one of those platforms that has a really broad reach because everybody has an email address. And then finally, quick commerce. Quick commerce, at its core, is about customer service. People want speedy delivery. So my recommendation to you is think about whether it's a service, a product, or even some sort of virtual offering. How can you ensure that you are providing rapid response, rapid delivery, and giving your customers confidence that they will get whatever they've asked for as soon as possible? So those are my recommendations. What do you think? Tell me if you think I've got something wrong. Tell me if you think I've missed something. Leave any comments that you think are important down below. As I said, we have these conversations weekly within the Launchpad community. So if you'd like to join, follow the link in the description. But until next time, have a great week.